I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive myself. My daughter, Paris, is a vegan like her mother, has been since she was 4, and asked what the sausage in her sausage sizzle came from. I've never lied to Paris, so I told her. It's a pig, honey. Like Peppa Pig? She asked innocently. Yeah, but a real pig, not a cartoon. Paris started to cry and refused meat from that point on. As she grew and learned more about the world and what goes into making things, she began to shun any product with animals in them. Last week, while reading the paper, I saw an advertisement for makeup. I know Paris always has trouble finding makeup that's not used on animals or sources with things that impact an animal's environment, so she was delighted with my find. She read the ad and smiled. Nice, Dad, thanks. I smiled, satisfied that I was a good father to a 14-year-old girl, and sipped my morning coffee. 2 days later, and her parcel arrived. She squealed with excitement and ran off to her room. I sat watching television when she came out again. What do you think? She said, red hair waving around her shoulders. I knew fear then, as a father. As a father of a teenage girl, she was beautiful and glowing. Her cheeks were outlined and defined. Soft blush blended in with her neck and hairline, and her blue eyes sparkled with shadows and mascara. Wow, my wife said, as she came in from the kitchen with a cup of tea and placed it before me. You look amazing. Paris blushed. Thanks, Mom. Dad found some makeup the other day. No animal impact. My wife grinned and patted me on the shoulder. Nice, Pop, nice. I watched her walk back to the kitchen while Paris squealed and turned for her room. But just before she disappeared, she turned back to me, and I spat out my coffee. Half of her face had melted away, leaving the rippling of muscles underneath. She didn't seem to be in distress. Even as I caught up to her before her room, she spun around stunned, and that same beautiful face stunned me. Sorry, love, I said. Just wanted to see that gorgeous face again. I lied. Later that night, Paris was late for dinner. Honey, dinner's ready. I knocked at her bedroom door. Go away, she shouted. A little taken back, I knocked again. Paris, what's the matter? Come out for dinner, darling. You must be starving. You haven't eaten all day. Go away. The voice made me take a step back. It was Paris, but with more venom than I've ever heard from her. Hey, Missy, don't you dare talk to me like that. Open up now. I rattled the handle in a warning. I heard the soft shuffle of feet and then her lock being drawn. The door opened a crack and half her face appeared. A thin track of black ran from the corner of her eye. What's going on? I tried looking through to her room and saw her vanity full of smudged tissues. Paris just looked through me. The light in her eye was dull and lifeless. Scared, I pushed the door open into her room. Paris stumbled back. The other half of her face was wiped clean of makeup and was stretched in a frozen scream. I saw the fear in my daughter's unmade face. She ran over to her vanity and hastily applied her makeup. All the while, my baby girl vanished behind a mask of beauty. I stumbled away, my back hitting the wall opposite her door. Done with her application, she stood slowly, walked over, and closed the door. The night I spoke to my wife about what had happened, she said it was a teenage girl thing and not to worry. I slept fitfully that night, plagued by dreams of pancake masks, clowns, and glamorous girls with peeling faces. When my wife left for work the next morning, it was just me and Paris. I knew I had to do something. I went to my shed and got some rope, then to my wife's vanity, and armed myself with makeup removing face wipes, cotton buds, nail varnish remover, anything that could remove her demonic makeup. I didn't bother to knock on Paris' door. I opened slowly as I pushed it. Paris was sitting on her stool, her once radiant face cruel and twisted. She must have heard me because she turned. Glop, drops of plasticized makeup hung from her chin. Reds and purple blush descended under her eyes like war paint. But most scary of all was the layer of skin covering her mouth and eyes. I ran forward, grabbed her, and threw her to her bed. She fought like a demon as I tied her with the ropes, but I managed to get her down. Paris clawed at me with manicured fingers, raking them down my face and arms. I pinned her down more with my knees and scrubbed her face bit by bit, towel after towel. The makeup started to come off. I scrubbed at her mouth. The sticky plastic glue clumped the cloth, but the corner of her mouth was free. "Dad," Paris screamed. "I'm here, baby. Just gotta get this off," I said, throwing the towel and wiping the sweat from my face before grabbing another. Slowly, more of my daughter appeared under, until it was completely off. I stood up, studying my daughter's red, raw face, twisting it this way and that, looking around the hairline under her chin for any that I'd miss. When I was sure I had it all off, I blew out my breath and untied Paris. She flew into my arms and sobbed against my chest. "I'm sorry, Daddy, I'm so sorry." I hugged her back. "It's not your fault, it was mine. I found the ad, it's my fault. But it's over now, the makeup is off. We will burn the rest and all those too." I pointed to the mountains of towels and cotton buds on the floor. She stepped back and sniffed. "Okay," she nodded. "I need to go to the bathroom. Mom has some cream I can use to soothe my burning face." I nodded and let her go. I couldn't believe what had happened. I felt drained, both emotionally and physically from the ordeal. My bottom found its way onto the stool of her vanity, and I picked up the blusher brush from its nest in the makeup tab. "All this for beauty," I said, shaking my head. My daughter was beautiful without makeup. I had forgotten to tell her that every day. She didn't need makeup to impress people, she just needed to be herself and show people her inner beauty. I glanced up into the vanity mirror. I looked old and haggard, a ghost of my former self. A smudged line of rosy blush ran across my forehead, a battle scar from my ordeal. I traced a finger over it, and then picked up the blusher pad and dabbed it away. But I didn't stop there. I felt the need